And we're back with another episode.
New year, new me.
Who dis?
That's right. So it's kind of been a while. I guess we should probably address our absence. I'll get kind of vulnerable, but I kind of gave myself a goal. I said we have to have 1,000 subscribers by 100 episodes. And I think we have like 750 subscribers. So we were short. So I stopped doing it because we weren't getting the subscribers. And I think Caitlin was annoyed that I made that decision, but I get a little self-conscious about like doing something and like people like I worry like, well, nobody listens, nobody cares.
Is that
But
like imposter syndrome?
I think it's imposter
I
syndrome.
don't really understand that.
I've always had imposter syndrome pretty bad, but I think that's what it is. But then like every week I would get messages like, when's the podcast coming back? Where's the podcast? I'm like, well, some people are listening. So like anything, it takes time to grow. But I think we probably have some people that enjoy it. But I think that I'm going to stop putting like I do that with everything in my life. Like it's like has to be the best, like the biggest. I want this. I want this right now. I want, you know.
Which
And
isn't
I
a bad
think-
thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. But sometimes I think like patience should be a good thing. And also like we enjoy doing it. So we'll get back into it. And I apologize for our absence.
Yeah, the only thing I hate about it is because I feel like I always like pride ourselves since we started where was the consistency we had. And
Yeah.
like I always see people do podcasts and they're like, this week we're not back, or they do like one a month, and then it's like it's not really like a thing. And I would like the consistency of us, so we took the month off. But just think of it like we took like
A sabbatical.
like
winter
break.
Yeah, taking a winter break.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna stay with it.
I think when not
hopefully
doing
get more guests on this year.
Yeah, I think not doing it, we both kind of, I mean, I knew this right away because I was like, wait, I love doing it. I don't care if like no one listens. It's just fun to do.
Yeah.
But I think not doing it, you realize too that we missed doing it.
Yes.
And it was really cool, like seeing both of us we would get, you know, a decent amount of messages saying like, wait, when's the podcast coming up? I miss it. I like it. So it's always like, it's weird when we record, I always assume no one listens. So like when someone's like, oh, that, especially if it's someone I don't know, like obviously we know our friends listen to it, but some of them, not all of them actually. But you know, when I hear like someone random come up and they're like, oh, I listen to your podcast, I really like it, I'm always like, wait, you do? Like and that's what I like about it is sometimes I forget that people do listen to it, even though you're putting it out there, you want people to. It's like, I don't know. I like doing it even if no one, from the beginning, I was like, if no one listens to it, I just like doing it.
Yeah, I think that's an important lesson and something that I overlooked, that it's okay to just like doing something. You don't have to. Sometimes I'm like, well, if it's not producing anything, if I'm not making money doing this, why am I wasting my time doing this? But some things it is good to just, you know, do because you enjoy doing it. And then hopefully it catches on and someday we do have some success with it. But everything can't be just so like number driven.
Yeah.
And I think that I have a problem with that.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes like anything too extreme probably is
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so we're back.
New Year resolutions.
I don't really do New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I think like I always joke around and say I have, like I'll kind of say I have one, but I never can remember them. I feel like both of us kind of do. I definitely do, and I think you do it too. Like just all the time throughout the year, I always like make goals. Like I might be like, all right, this month I want to try to do this or focus on this. I think that we do a good job of kind of like just setting random goals for us regardless of the year. And sometimes I think if you make like shorter, smaller goals, it's easier to accomplish. Like I love doing like, it's almost like when you make a to-do list and you check it off, you feel good, like checking things off if you feel accomplished. I think doing like, smaller goals. Like say you're like, okay, I want a basic one everyone has, like, I want to lose weight. Instead of just saying that, I think it's good to be like, all right, this month I'm gonna try to go to the gym. Like if you don't go to the gym at all, I'm gonna go to the gym 3 days a week. Then you do that. Then you're like, okay, now I'm into that. Then next month you're like, all right, I'm gonna try to, not drink Monday through Friday. And then and then by the end of the year, you add all these different things in rather than just saying like something very loosely, like I want to lose weight.
Right. Yeah, I don't really have New Year's resolutions because every single day I'm thinking of the same things. I'm like, I want this, this, and this. And I've been thinking about that for like years. So nothing changes for me for a new year. But one thing we did do, like in December during our sabbatical, I really went off the deep end in terms of like our nutrition and diet.
Yeah, we
So
went
we were
hard.
eating like terrible because we were going to like the city a lot for different like events and Christmas stuff. And
we do Christmas hard, like
for like a month.
Anything like the day after Thanksgiving, we're full Christmas mode, and it's like, hey, anything that involves Santa, cookies, drinks, music, shows, festivities, like we're taking part in.
Yeah.
And we go hard.
Yeah, so I was like almost like made myself grossed out with how poorly I was eating and drinking and all that. So I was almost looking forward to Christmas to be over. So because I had a plan, I was like, after Christmas, I'm going to get back on my diet. I'm going to get back on a good diet and, stay with it for a month. So we decided we're going to do the full month of January. This isn't like a New Year's resolution. That's stupid. We started right after Christmas. But we're doing the full month, and we're going to do, I guess, what that Carnivore MD guy does. It's just meat and fruit. So I've been on it for about a week now, and it's easy to do because it's not calorie restrictive, but you just get bored. That's the hardest part. You just get bored.
Well, you said you were going to do it, and you're like, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll do it too. You're like, you don't have to do it. But
because you always cut weight year round, so I feel bad for you to follow a strict diet.
Well, yeah, but I don't have a fight booked, so it's like I can't I already did my like 2-month bender. Like I can't, that can't go on all the time. I was, the last year I fought 3 times, so it kind of just sometimes.
It felt like you were in camp for a full year.
Yeah, I basically was. But sometimes the schedule just falls through like that where it's like, okay, you fight, kind of have, a month like bender on food and just drinking and whatever you want. And then like you get another half a month where you're like, all right, I'm still doing it, but I'm reeling it in a little bit. And then you get a fight booked. But so my last 3 camps were kind of back to back that way. So but then it's like, I don't have a fight book. So it's like, all right, well, before I would maybe get something booked right around now. But if I'm not, that's fine. I'm training all the time. But like, all right, I can't go too crazy. Right. And I start to, like you said, the whole month of December, we went so crazy that I'm like, I'm over it.
I was over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was over it. I was like, it was the first time like ever that I was like, oh, I'm fat now. I'm like fat. I was like embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like embarrassed to like even in a t-shirt. I was like, oh my God, I look fat.
You're insane. You have the like worst body dysmorphia of anyone I know.
Dude, I had that when I remember being in like 7th grade and going like this. And my mom would always be like, what are you doing? I'd always go like this, like
grab your stomach.
No, like I would go like
you do that all the time.
Indents.
You go like this. Every time, like you're always.
No, but I would go like my thumbs in the indents and make sure that my 6-pack was still there, and I would do that all the time.
7th grade.
7th grade, all the way up, and I always did that. And I would look in the mirror and I would always ask my mom, like, "Am I getting fat?
What do you think that like? What do you think that was? Because you were never fat as a kid,
no,
ever, and like your whole family's like in shape. It's not like you had siblings that were. And actually, over like a couple weeks ago, your mom sent us like old photos. Like I sent a whole photo album of all photos. Every picture of Kyle when he was younger, like young, he's flexing in every picture. Yeah. And like for a kid that young, like you had like a build.
Yeah.
Like you had shoulder, even like I'm saying when you were like 8 or 9, you weren't just like, cause some kids are just ripped cause they're skinny, but you had like broad shoulders and like you could see it was crazy. And in every picture from a very young age, you're like flexing in every picture.
Yeah. So I've always been like that. So, but then like all of a sudden, like this year, I was like, fuck, I'm like fat now.
Oh my God.
So needless to say, I started this diet about a week ago, and I have always been like this also. It's like 0 or 100. Like I can't eat like one cookie.
Mm-mm.
You know, I'll eat the entire tray of cookies.
24 or nothing.
I can't have a slice of pizza. I'll eat the entire pizza. Like, and I do that a lot. I'll just eat a full pizza. But what I can do is say, I'm never doing this. I'm not doing this for a month. I never say I'll never do anything again, but I'm never doing this for a month, and I will not cheat. Like, I have a very strong mind with that stuff.
If you say you're going to do, that's why when you say you were going to do it, I was like, I guess I'll do it. You're like, you don't have to. I'm like, well, I know you're definitely going to do it.
Yeah.
If you were like a normal person, I'd be like, whatever, you're probably going to do it for a week and then stop. And I'm like, if you say you're going to do this, and then it's just easier for like, it's not that I said that I was doing it. So people are like, carnivore diet's not good. I'm like, I don't even care.
It's not the carnivore diet.
I'm like, I don't even care about that. I'm just like, eating, it's just like kind of fun to do something. And for me, for like weight cutting, I'm always having to weigh out food, follow this, eat this at certain times. And this is kind of nice because it's like a motivation to like, all right, I can eat this. It's easier to follow. Whatever, eat whenever you want, whatever you want, as long as it's this type of foods. But man, I'm not hungry.
No.
But I'm bored.
You get bored.
I just keep like going into the kitchen, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm not hungry, but I just feel like I'm not satisfied.
You want to crunch on something. I think with the carnivore diet or the whatever animal-based diet, I suppose, a problem with it, you do feel satiated. You're not hungry, but I think the issue is almost everything you eat is a very similar texture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you don't have anything like creamy, or you don't have anything crunchy, crispy. Like you don't have like different textures. And I think that makes it a little more boring than just the food.
Because all the food we're eating is
it all
food I
tastes
love.
Great. Yeah, it's great. It's all really good food. And it's one thing we've talked about before with some of our nutritionists, like Dr. James and Tyler. We've had some big time nutrition people on the podcast, and they've talked about like how easy it is to train your taste buds. But it's very easy to train them either direction. Like if you're only eating healthy
Easier
food,
the other way.
Right. If you're only eating healthy food, though, I find that after 3 or 4 days, you don't crave shitty food.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's a little longer. I think like a week or two.
Right. But if you're eating just like we were like, you know, junk, like pizza and chicken sandwiches and burgers, pasta,
cookies,
that's all you crave.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go home and I'll eat a steak tonight, or I can't anyway.
Yeah, when you do, it doesn't taste good.
So it's very, very. If you want to start eating healthy or lose weight, you have to train your taste buds,
and you have to know that you have to kind of push through that first week.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I think it was last night. I'm like, I'm bored. And you were like, don't do it. I'm like, well, I'm already at this point, I think I was like, I'm already at day 5. Like that, the first 3 days are probably the hardest just to get out of the routine of it.
But it's not calorie restrictive. You could eat anytime you want.
Yeah.
But it's not often that you're like, oh, I'm super hungry watching TV on the couch and go heat up a bowl of like ground beef.
Yeah.
Like that's not, I don't know. Because we're always like, oh, we'll order something, and you order Uber Eats, and it just becomes part of your routine. But when you eat like this, you just got to, you know, understand that it's kind of monotonous. And I don't know if that necessarily goes away. So
how about Kyle, second time in his life, he did a Costco trip with me.
Yeah.
I was nervous because it was January 2nd, which is basically like January. It was like a Sunday, basically. And so it's crowded. I was nervous. I pulled in. I was like, I don't know if we should do this. I'll come back when you're not here. And
Costco's almost like Chick-fil-A. It's so efficient.
Yeah, it was that day. I was
like
lucky.
If you go to like this, like a Stop and Shop, a local Stop and Shop, and there's 2 people in front of you, you might be there for like an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
With coupons and lotto tickets.
But our cart was like packed with fruits, avocado. It was the healthiest looking cart ever. We had cases of the Pellegrino because we try not to do plastic bottles.
Yeah.
You used to drink so much plastic water bottles. Now you never do.
All day I used to drink them.
Yeah.
I exclusively drank out of plastic bottle bottles.
Yeah.
For like ever.
Yeah.
Now I don't.
Never.
Yeah. That's
Well,
great.
not never. I mean, if you like really,
It's kind of fun getting on like I guess, I don't know if it's like body hacking stuff. Like we have a cold plunge coming in. It gets delivered next week, right? The 14th.
I think so.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
I
So
don't
we're
know if I'm
we're like
excited.
a walking podcast.
Yeah. We've been well, I would say over the past year, I got into like the whole I become like toxic queen pretty much of like
Phthalates.
yeah. I went pretty hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I got rid of like there's not a candle in my like the thought of lighting a candle in the house is not happening.
And we used to have candles
Every single like
over
5
the
in
house
every
all
single
day.
room.
Yeah.
Like the thought like now like I used to be like hardcore Bath and Body Works candle sale.
So people probably might want to know like why. Well, why wouldn't you light a candle? What's the reason?
It's like what I've read is that it's probably like linked to the number one like cause of like low testosterone, like killing testosterone. They said at the level, they said fragrance is really bad, and it's just like really bad for everyone. And they said that the level, and I'm very obviously paraphrasing.
You're not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor. People are gonna, you know what I mean, whatever. And here's the thing, I don't care if you do have them. I'm not like thinking anything. I mean, my whole house like 12 months ago was filled with all that stuff. But I just kind of like would read stuff saying that it was like super bad for you. And I'm like, damn, it kind of makes sense. I mean, like when our parents were young, they didn't have like everything now is all scented, like Febreze, not just laundry detergent, there's detergent just to make your stuff smell better and all this stuff, like everything, body lotions, body sprays, like fabric sprays, all this stuff. And they didn't have that like when our parents were younger. And they just said over the years that like testosterone in like males has like gone, like it's like destroyed. And they said if it keeps going at the rate it is in like another 15 years, it's going to be like almost non-existing.
Well, who was it? It was James Cameron said that the director for Avatar, Terminator, big time director. He said that they should eliminate testosterone. You shouldn't have testosterone.
Yeah,
That's the root of toxic.
Well, if you don't have testosterone, then you don't have people.
Is that true?
I mean, right? Don't you need like testosterone? Like, isn't that part of like?
Well, I think that's part of the ultimate plan anyway, though. I think the idea is to not have people.
That I don't really know much about, and I don't really get that.
Well, it's like overpopulation, climate control.
Yeah.
And if you have like no test, low test.
But then wouldn't everyone
aren't
just
hooking up as much, less kids?
But then wouldn't everyone just die? Or is the whole process like that? Is that whole theory like the people at the top aren't doing that stuff, so they're gonna be okay? Because if there's no more people, then it's just the end of the world.
Well, I think the idea is not to get no people, but like eliminate like
most.
A decent amount, like 2 billion.
How many people are on the world now?
8 billion.
Oh, I mean, there's probably 2 billion people that could kind of go.
2 million?
2 billion.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever. My whole thing is it's like one of those things where I started with that and then now like this is so weird. I went to like the mall like a couple of weeks ago, and walking in the mall, I'm like walking through department stores, and because I'm so used to not now in our house, like, and I don't put any of the scented stuff I have is all natural. When I go in a department store, the overwhelming like perfume that's like just in your face, I was like, oh my God, I can taste it.
Well, that's why you should be having a mask on.
I should.
To prevent COVID and phthalates.
Phthalates, yeah.
That's kind of counterproductive because people probably who wear masks are probably pro no testosterone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
pick your battle.
Yeah. Well, your body, your choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I stopped doing all that stuff. But it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's like a rabbit hole you go down, and then, I don't like care if other people, I don't even like tell like, so unless I know some of my friends are into that stuff too, I don't even talk to them about it, because like I wouldn't want people to think like I'm judging them. Like, I don't care if you might think you might think I'm crazy, and maybe it is. I don't do enough research where I'm like,
yeah. Just headlines.
Yeah, I do like headlines and TikTok videos, and I'm sold. If you show me 2 TikToks where they're telling me this is bad for you, I'm sold.
Yeah.
You know, I throw out everything and don't let you use deodorant or anything.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Just natural deodorant.
Just natural. Yeah. But it's fun. I don't know.
Yeah, it is fun.
I think if that's like the worst thing you're doing, it's pretty good.
No, I think it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We jumped in the ocean yesterday.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'm not. So we have the cold plunge coming. You're definitely more excited about it than me. When we got it, I got it knowing that I might not do it. Because I'm not. I want to like it, but I don't know if I'm going to.
One thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to post like videos doing it.
Yeah.
That is kind of corny.
I think I would have.
Because it's so basic now. Like everyone does.
I think I would have like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, no. I'm glad I didn't because now I feel like everyone's doing it, you know?
We saw a comedian and he like posted, said, my New Year's resolution's to unfollow anyone who posts videos of themselves in a cold tub.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Super funny.
But yeah, so I was like, I went to walk the dog at the beach the other day. It was like January 1st around on the East Coast, like on Long Island or New Jersey. A big thing is they do like a polar plunge where different towns do it, like big gatherings where people all jump in the ocean and it's super cold. So I saw a couple people doing it on the first, and then I was like, oh, tomorrow after training. And I just love going to the beach. It's so nice. I was like, oh, we should go do it. So I didn't think I could do it, but I jumped.
Good.
I jumped right in. It wasn't that bad.
No, it was great.
It was nice too because the water wasn't very rough.
No, not bad at all.
Because sometimes in the winter you can't do it. It's rough.
Too rough. Too windy and rough. So a lot of people probably saw your prank that you did today.
Yes. Okay. So if you didn't see it, there's like a viral TikTok prank where you like tell someone a celebrity died and you get their reaction. So obviously, like the thing I love about you is I can do any viral TikTok prank to you because you don't use it or ever see it, so you'll never know. It could be like something that's like, I told some of my friends, I'm like, oh, do it to your boyfriend. They're like, they already know what it is. It's not gonna work. I'm like, oh, okay, this will work. So I was thinking about doing this to you for probably like a week and then 3 days really going on. I had a couple celebrities in mind which one I was gonna do. Because I had to get in a character. I had to I had to make it believable. And you have to hide the phone. That's hard too. Because usually if I'm like saying something to you and you see me holding my phone, you know I'm recording you right away. Your instinct's like, okay, something's up. So I had it already. You were in the gym working out and I was on the couch and I was like listening to you come up the steps and I was sweating. Because I had to get in a full character. So if you didn't see it, it's on my Instagram. But I told him, he walks in and I was like, Andrew Tate, 36, dead. Or dead 36, something like that. And your reaction was so I wish I would have been able to like stay serious a little bit longer. But your reaction was so funny. I just couldn't like control myself. And then I laughed and then you're like, oh, I love when I do something. You're like, is this a TikTok?
Well, everyone was like, damn, you must really like Andrew Tate. And I definitely do. But it wasn't like a feeling of like, oh my God, I'm so sad he died. It was more, oh my God, that's so scary that they could just kill someone like that. Because like it wouldn't be like far-fetched. It was very realistic, especially with what's going on.
And I said
right
suicide.
Yeah. And I was thinking he got suicided. And that is just scary to think about. But you really fucking got me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told you, I was like, I don't want you to post that. It's too embarrassing. But it was so good though that you kind of
sometimes I record stuff that you do and you're like, don't post that. That's so embarrassing. And I'm like, all right, fine. But that one right away you were like, don't post that. It's embarrassing. And in my head I was like, I'm posting it regardless. It's so good. I like posted it, but I feel like it didn't really go viral. And I wonder if not like viral, but you know what I mean? I think it should have got like more traction, but I wonder if because it was like Andrew Tate, if it didn't get like posted in the algorithm as much.
Maybe.
Yeah. It was hilarious. I watched it like 45. Yeah. I posted it like 3 days ago. And that night that I recorded it, I like couldn't even talk to you the rest of the night. I was just watching it in like tears crying.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What if I could get you with a prank? It's so funny. That was, like I said, it was a week in the making.
Yeah, it was just good timing though too, because some of those the people say like we watched them on TikTok after that, and they'd be like, Clint Eastwood dead, 98.
And they're like, what? No, it's like 98.
Yeah,
or
like
there'll be
Dolly
some.
Parton dead.
Yeah,
she's
they're like
80 years
how?
old.
They're like heart attack, and they're like, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I saw one of even like Trump, and people were like, Trump dead, 76, or and the person was like devastated. I'm like, I mean, I always kind of maybe get slack for this, but like if someone dies like in their like 80s, it's not sad.
Yeah.
Like if an 8-year-old dies.
I mean, it's definitely sad, but it's
really
not
sad.
like I can't believe it.
Yeah, if your like great grandma that dies, it's not sad.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you're like, they lived a good life.
Yeah, they lived a full life. What do you want?
Yeah.
Right? If you die at like 35, that's pretty sad.
Yeah, of course.
So you got to be, but that was a perfect person to pick, because I can't think of anyone else that I would have been like had any reaction to.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing Trump just to kind of. I wanted to
I wouldn't even face
no, because I wanted someone that you could think was like not, because there's not really any celebrity that you would be like so sad that they died.
Right.
Just, I mean, not that you wouldn't think it's sad, but I needed someone where there was an extra like shock factor.
Yeah, and with
so I
him
thought with
just being
Trump, maybe you
arrested,
could be
too.
like, what happened? And
Right.
then I could say, oh, he got shot.
Yeah.
That was going to be my thing with him, just so for that, not because you're like, oh my God, like I love Trump, just because like.
Is he still in jail, Tate?
I think so.
Zane, do you know if he is? He's out.
Oh,
Has he posted anything or said anything?
wow,
all right.
I didn't see it.
That's good. So is he like waiting on trial now? That's interesting. It's so funny how people all believe all of a sudden everyone like believes in like law enforcement. Like, yeah, he's guilty. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Everyone's like,
people always forget that though.
Yeah.
Especially when it's someone they don't like.
When it's someone they don't like. That's what I was going to say. Like, that's not how it works. You can't just because someone gets arrested, anyone can get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
But you could be guilty. You're not guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. Like, it was funny because I was listening to on the Full Send podcast, O.J. Simpson was on a couple weeks ago. And, obviously he had his murder case and he beat that case and then was living on with his life. And then he got arrested a couple years later and he did like 15 years in jail for, I guess, robbery or grand larceny, something.
Mm-hmm.
And they were asking him about that. And they're like, do you think they took it out on you as a strict punishment because you beat the last case? He's like, how do you feel about that? He's like, well, that's their prerogative. He's like, I believe in the legal system and you can't only believe in it when it works in your favor. He's like, if you believe in the legal system, then, you have to respect that I was innocent, for those murders. But apparently I'm guilty of this. Like, both sides, you have to. Yeah. And I kind of was like, I kind of respect that. Yeah. Because like, if you're like, well, he's a murderer, like, maybe, but he's proven innocent. Yeah. So he's not. Right. Even no matter how you think of it. Yeah. But I really believe in that innocent until proven guilty. So
it's kind of similar to like, it's so weird to compare this, but in fighting, when people are like, they lost, or say I lost a bad decision, like I murdered the girl, but whatever, bad call. Doesn't matter.
That does not matter.
And people are like, yeah, but they won. No, you lost. No. They're like, yeah, but they did. You could say they lost, but you could say they lost, but I thought they won.
And who cares what you think? But all it doesn't. You look at the sure dog, red or green.
When you see the record, it doesn't have like, it's win, loss, draw. There's not win, loss, draw. Oh, but they really won this fight. It was a bad call. That's just what it is, and you move on. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, because there's no like reassurance and you really won. No, you didn't. Yeah, that's what's so difficult about the fight game. Yeah, but so Tate, hopefully that works out for him.
It was funny because they said like how he got caught or how they found him. because the pizza boxes on
Right.
his thing. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, I wonder if that's true.
But I'm like, don't they know? Like, they're like Romanians were looking. I'm like, I'm sure he's like, they know where he lives, right? He wasn't like I'm sure he's got like a huge mansion. Like,
yeah.
I don't really understand that.
The next guy has got a little legal trouble, and we won't talk too much about it. Well, I don't know if it's legal trouble, but definitely in the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
Dana White in the club kind of hit his wife. Thoughts?
I didn't really hear much about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good look, but who knows? Maybe they were just like role playing, that definitely could be a thing that people are into. They're just like role playing, like, I want you to pretend to slap me. And then they go home and like have like passionate sex over that. Like, it could definitely be. You don't know what's going on with that.
No.
So it's stupid to think like, oh, he's a women abuser. You really don't know.
Right.
So they could have been role playing or playing some game. But the thing that's like perfect irony and super funny, and the reason it's going even more viral than it probably would have, is because of how easy it was to do the memes that he just started stupid slap league.
That slap league. That is just, the timing is like too crazy.
Like, why would that slap league exist? I remember when I heard that was him, I was like, what? Who watches that? But obviously people definitely do.
They're basically doing Ultimate Fighter with that. I know when we saw like the full length preview of it, when we were watching like a fight night, I like smoked before and I was watching that preview and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
That is insane. Like, people living in a house and like just to do that slap. And there's like girls doing it too. Yeah. That's crazy.
But
people are watching.
It really makes for really good memes. Actually, that's good like advertising for Dana. Maybe that's why he did it, because he started the slap league and,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You never know.
You never know.
You can't, just assume.
It's like all this stuff like with like Balenciaga and Gucci, them doing all that stuff. People are like, they know what they're doing. They don't care. They'll just get like, sometimes companies do crazy things that you're like, why would they do that? That's going to ruin them. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, it seems too obvious. Maybe they're doing it on purpose. Like,
kind of like the no press is bad press.
Yeah.
Like,
or bad. Yeah.
Yeah. No press is bad press.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you're saying, good or bad, just spell my name right.
They, so, Equinox, the gym.
Yeah.
So it's like a expensive gym membership, whatever. I think it's like, I don't know, like $300 a month or something.
They're in the city, right?
Yeah, they have them all over, but mostly in cities. So on Equinox's official TikTok, they posted a video of like the gym being empty. So I guess they did a rule where on January 1st, no new members were allowed. So because it's the whole thing where like people that go to the gym all the time, like they shame January because they're like, oh, all these New Year's resolutioners come in and then they're only here for a month, but it's annoying because that first month it's so crowded. So Equinox was like, no new members, no day passes for January 1st, kind of like so their exclusive members can enjoy the benefits of being in not a crowded gym. And everyone was going off like Equinox just did the worst thing they could have ever done. They're turning away customers and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure Equinox, like, it's a pretty big company. I'm sure they know what they're doing. Sometimes people act like, it's like a college kids on the marketing team, like
Right.
that are coming up with this without thinking, or that this hasn't been approved. Like, and then I saw some counter arguments saying like Equinox is like a luxury exclusive membership. They don't care. People want to be there. And
that makes them even more appealing.
Yeah.
The exclusivity of it, it's not Planet Fitness. There's
Right.
a gym for everyone. That's Planet Fitness.
Yes.
But this is for people that want some form of like exclusivity.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're paying $300 a month.
Yeah, so this is like an advertisement for that. Like, no, we don't let just anyone.
It's a luxury gym, and they're saying like, oh, luxury things, they're not for everyone, and it doesn't have to include everyone. And so but it's funny, they're like saying like the people that are mad about it are the people that they probably don't want to be. They're not going anywhere. They're probably not going to the gym let alone Equinox.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I can't stand stuff like that when people like
Oh my
try
God.
to like.
That's people do that. That's their whole entire lives.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's no different
Yeah.
than like a bad Yelp
Make
reviewer.
everything like a societal issue.
Every single thing.
Right. Like this is just how they choose to run their business.
Yeah. It's
You
like you
know?
don't like it. There's 100 different gyms. That's what's cool is like if you don't like it, you can go to support another gym that doesn't do that.
Or they could also, they're right to say any new membership is $1,000 a month moving forward.
Yeah.
That's it. Everyone else grandfathered in, but if you're willing to pay it, you could do whatever you want. If you own something, you could do whatever you want. And then the market dictates if you're making the right decisions or wrong decisions. Like if the market all of a sudden was like, well, that's really not right. And then everyone canceled their gym membership and nobody signed up, boycott, then, oh, we made a mistake. And then they'd have to self-correct or go out of business. So the market needs to dictate everything, not people's rules or expectations. The free market, whether if they're agreeing with you, they'll go. And if you're producing a good product, they'll go and support you. And if they disagree with you or they find you to be offensive, then they have the right to not go to you. There's plenty of options. And that's the great thing about like a free market economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I kind of like that Equinox is like,
I love that they're like
we
that.
don't care. We're doing whatever we want. They were like clapping back in like comments too to people. I love when big companies like on Twitter, like when they like clap back and like make fun of people or they beef with other, like when Wendy's and McDonald's like on Twitter beef with each other. I love that so much.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. There's been no fights to talk about
Yeah.
for like 2 or 3 weeks, and there's still not fights this weekend. But then the following weekend, you'll be there.
Yeah, the first one of the year.
What's the main event? I feel like
we've looked this up like 3 times, and I keep forgetting every time.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that next week.
Oh my. Gaslam. I
that's
couldn't think of
right,
Gaslam's name. I'm like the
Right,
guy.
right.
Yeah.
So, what else? Anything else? Current events? Anything?
Maybe Zane should give a little life update. I'm sure everyone's wondering where you were.
Well, what should I talk about? I mean, I feel like there's been.
What do you
so
do on
much.
since you don't celebrate Christmas? What did you do on Christmas Day? Just chill at home.
Christmas Day.
Like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Yeah, I just stayed at. I think I just visited my parents.
Oh, okay. So you did like a family day type of thing.
Yeah, I just saw them. There was really nothing to do. Like I saw them and I saw my friends.
Yeah.
And my one friend who did celebrate Christmas, I went to his house.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not like we're exchanging gifts. You
No,
know?
but still, they
Yeah.
probably had like extra food.
We're like just like smoking weed in his basement. You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. You can tell everyone about you went on a PJ.
Oh, the PJ story.
I feel like we
Yeah.
shouldn't say that actually, because some people might cancel you for
Carbon emissions.
Carbon admissions.
But Zane just cruises around in PJs now.
I only once.
Well, lately you've been cruising around PJs a lot more than usual.
A lot, just 100% more than usual.
So he went on a private jet, and I was like, why didn't you post a picture? And you were like, I felt like I would feel like a hooker or something like that.
Yeah, I would feel like an escort if I started
Most people who
posting.
post pictures on private jets are probably escorts.
100%.
Most that actually post the picture.
Because most people are trying to like sell that lifestyle.
I
don't think you have to like.
I
I think that's like I don't know. Maybe there's a difference between guys and girls. Like, I don't think you have to be like. Obviously, it's like, oh, look at me. But I don't know. It's kind of cool. If it's your first
cool.
time to post it. And you guys both said the same thing. You're like, well, it's not mine. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, there's usually like, if there's 10 people on a private jet, everyone posts a picture. It's not everyone's. Like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be your. Like, I'm sure if I was on a private jet and I post a picture, everyone knows it's not my private jet.
But I think it's the connotation of it nowadays because I feel like you see a lot more people like clout chasing on social media.
So it's almost like that's a no.
Yeah, it comes off like I'm like
Bragging.
a clout chaser, or bragging. When it's like, I mean, I didn't even
like when people put like their like watch in front of their dashboard or not dashboard.
BMW.
Yeah, like the thing, and they're like, oh, morning grind, and it's like, you're literally
No,
just
you're just posting
posting
your
you're
watch.
watching your
Yeah.
car. Like, no one cares. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
People will probably think that I have money and I want nobody to know how much I'm making ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I think I think it was in Russia or something. There's a company that has like a staged private jet.
Oh, I've seen that
And
before.
you can go. I don't know if it's just Russia. I think that's like a thing.
No, they
now.
have like
you can go and take pictures.
they have places where it's like different setups for social media where you can go and take selfies and pictures, and they have like one little section that you can sit down and you take a selfie or a picture and it looks like you're sitting in a private jet and it's like in a like warehouse.
That's so depressing.
That's crazy because it's one thing if you do it like as a joke, but there's definitely people that
Definitely.
that's wild.
Well, that's like if you're trying to put out like that type of that's almost like in a way like trying to catfish someone.
Yeah. Oh,
like to show like
yeah.
You know, because there's still people who try to do that. Like you told me the other day.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I think I told him about this. I think it was Copen State.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was called. Copen State University. This basketball team, this player on the basketball team was talking to this girl online. The story is so wild. He was talking to this girl online and she started a relationship with her online, never met her. And she was asking him to send, nudes. And he did, whatever. And then she kept asking. Then he stopped talking to her. And then she kept saying, like, hey, you need to keep sending them to me or else I'm going to exploit you. And did I say that word right? Exploit?
You did.
Yeah. Exploit you. And you're on a scholarship. You're going to get in trouble. And he started freaking out. He started talking to her again. And then he told his assistant coach about it. And he's like, oh, I'm talking to this girl, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh my God, I'm talking to the same girl. She's doing the same thing to me. It's crazy. He's like, I could lose my job. You could lose your scholarship. And he goes, and the coach says to the player, she told me we need to have sex and record it and send it to her. Otherwise, she's going to tell everyone and I'm going to lose my job and you're going to lose your scholarship. And he goes, oh, okay. And does it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's more to that story.
That I'm just telling you the story. So then it goes out, and then they has to keep going. He's like, enough. And then the pictures go out of the kid, and I don't know if they goes out about him and the coach. Finds out he's being catfished the whole time, and it was the assistant coach. So the assistant coach was doing it to him, and then like tricked him in. Now the kid's like suing the school. He's suing the assistant coach. He's suing the coach who's actually was on like Real Housewives because his wife was on it. Like I forget which one. I forget which one it was, because when the day it was all these nude pictures got like, shown, he still made him come to practice. So he's getting sued. But here's my thing. Okay. You're in college. I get it if like you're talking to someone, you're sending pictures, and she's like, "Oh, send me." You already sent them, so whatever. Just send it more, or whatever. You're gonna talk to her. But the coach is like, "You don't think that's a little suspicious?" I don't believe everything. So
I don't believe
like,
anything about that.
I was so.
They were just hooking up, I think, and then they had a bad breakup.
Yeah, what the assistant coach and
100%.
Yeah,
that's not who would fall for that.
Like, and how are you like, oh, I'm scared I'm going to lose my scholarship. First of all,
why would you lose your scholarship for sending nude pictures? That's not, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah. And then like, you're that concerned about the scholarship that like, what? But then the coach goes, oh, she said we need to have sex and record it and send it to her or else she's going to tell everyone. And he goes, oh, okay. I don't want to lose my scholarship. What?
Yeah, that's almost like stupid to talk about because there's no way that's true.
Well, it's going on, and he's suing everyone now.
He may. And
imagine he sues everyone and gets like a crazy amount of money.
He probably will.
That's so wild.
Yeah, worth it.
Was it? Poor assistant coach.
No, he's got to be fucked up if that's true, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah. Ugh, I don't know. But Zane, you got anything else? Any stories? Do you have a good New Year's?
I'm just reading about the thing.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if they actually did do it.
I'm not making this up.
No, I know. It was all over.
It says they met the next day. I don't know. I can't.
You don't know if they actually.
I don't know if
it?
they actually did the deed, but if they did, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't want my nudes to be. I don't want someone to see my nudes, so I'm gonna have sex with a guy, and I'm not gay. What?
Yeah.
At that point, I would just let my nudes leak.
I mean, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I feel like that's not as big of a deal as like when we were younger.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you would like.
With like OnlyFans and stuff now, like I'm sure tons of college athletes have OnlyFans.
Because I
right?
remember when we were younger, it was like when Facebook. I remember I'm a little bit younger than you, so like, I remember when you were in high school with Facebook, you had to be careful with pictures you posted with alcohol because they're like colleges won't accept you. First of all, like most people like in high school weren't posting pictures with alcohol, but even in college, like athletes couldn't post pictures. They couldn't be anywhere where there was alcohol. But like now I feel like you can't, that's not really a thing. Like,
I don't think so.
I mean,
well,
now
think of OnlyFans.
Well, yeah, there's definitely like girls that are 18, like summer just graduated college or just graduated high school or 18 starting OnlyFans, and like a school can't not accept them because they have an OnlyFans. They would almost.
No way.
I feel like you have to accept them more.
Yeah, you have leverage.
But that's
they
not.
They didn't accept me only because I have OnlyFans.
Slut shaming.
Slut shaming.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's leverage.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to start the OnlyFans.
Yeah, you should start one.
I should.
Yeah.
There's definitely a couple of dudes.
Well, if I stay on my diet a little longer.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not ready.
Maybe in 30 days.
In 30 days, after I do my animal-based 30.
We're both dieting?
I've done day 5. Where were you? Did you miss the first part of this podcast?
Day 10. Day 10.
Oh, yeah, Zane's dieting.
What's your diet?
Low carb.
Low carb.
What does that mean, though? Like,
it's basically just animal-based. Like
you're eating starches, though, right?
Very few.
Very few.
Compared to like what I was originally doing.
No cheesecake?
No cheesecake.
But is yours calorie restrictive at all?
I'm not really counting my calories.
Yeah.
I'm just eating like less.
And what proteins?
Yeah.
Steak.
Chicken. I am typically just doing like red meat because I feel like I can't eat. Chicken breast is so boring.
It's tough.
It's so weird. Guys can't eat chicken.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, by itself. Like, if it's like with something else on the side, like if I have chicken and steak, like okay, I can deal.
Or if it's like fried chicken or like chicken wings.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm also just not a good cook, so it's kind of hard for me.
It is kind of like annoying to cook chicken.
You have to actually know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
We have to know what you're doing when you're cooking in general, right?
Yeah.
You can like mess up a steak pretty easily.
Not if you do a sous vide.
Well, yeah, you can have
That's
you could have a nice steak, and if you don't cook it good, it's like tough and it's not great to eat. But if you cook it good, it's like you don't even feel like you're dieting.
I always feel like I'm dieting if I can't eat like something like sweet afterwards.
I'm good with the meals.
me
I just
too.
like at night, I'm like,
Yeah.
just like, you know what I mean? Like, how many apples can I eat?
You get a stomachache if you eat too many apples.
Yeah, it's like apples, clementines, berries. It's like
Mhm.
in the first couple days, I'm like, oh, I love these, and then I'm just like, ugh, whatever.
Well, what if you had some Greek yogurt?
We don't even do that, but I think you can.
You can?
I think.
Greek
I mean, we're not,
yogurt,
like-
honey, manuka honey, whatever it's called, manila.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll add that after these
Oh my
30
god,
days.
I was sick.
Oh yeah.
We didn't talk. I'm never sick. Like
No.
not like that. I get sick, but not like I've had a fever for like 4 days straight.
And then you really couldn't train for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I couldn't train for like pretty much like almost a week, like 5 days because I was sick, 5 or 6 days, and then the week after I could train, but I was like going super light. I was just kind of like flow rolling, and I was getting gassed out. And then now this week, I can train, but I'm like still kind of catching up with my cardio a little bit.
Yeah.
But I never get sick,
No, you don't.
not like that. And the whole time I was just like, yeah, it was good because it was the week before. It was the week before Christmas, And it was funny because at first I was like, oh, I don't want to tell my family because they come out. We host them. We host Christmas. So I was like, I don't want to tell them because I'm afraid then they won't want to come over. And I knew I would be fine by Christmas because this was the week before. And then I was like on the phone with my mom, and I was like, I'm not gonna tell her. And then I was like, second I got on the phone, I was like, so I've been sick. This is when I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, so I was really sick the last few days. And she goes, me and Dad were sick too. We didn't want to say anything. So all of us were like sick and didn't want to say anything.
Not me.
Yeah, not you. But it was funny. It's funny how like before, like now you're like, don't want to tell people you're crazy.
Yeah. I remember it used to be a thing, like you could go to a Thanksgiving dinner or like a birthday party and be like, oh, I don't want to hug you, I'm sick. And people would have like a runny nose or whatever, and it'd be like, okay, now people like would lose their minds.
It's not really anyone we hanging out with, but people.
That was a big shift though.
Yeah.
But now everything's pretty much back to normal. I mean,
you think?
I think as close as it can possibly be.
I think whole like the people wearing masks and stuff. A lot of people wear masks.
You definitely see some of that,
but I think that's just gonna be like that forever.
Yeah.
I think anytime someone has like the people that wear them, like anytime they have like a little bit of a dry throat or a little bit of like they sneeze or they're like, because there's a lot of times like I always say I'm like, oh, I'm never sick. I always have a cold like throughout the winter, but I'm talking like sick.
Yeah.
I don't consider it sick unless like
fever. You're
like out for the day, but I think some of those people just anytime they have a little bit of a runny nose are going to be wearing a mask. Or if there's someone in their houses, they think that that's going to help.
I mean, but like New York City's basically back to normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's packed now.
Yeah, you can go
to Prince Street. Even like it's lines out the door.
Go to where?
Prince Street.
Prince Street Pizza.
Prince Street Pizza.
Well, yeah. You love that pizza?
It's good for what it is. It's like a celebrity pizza.
I don't know. I've never had it. Had I?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right. So next week, we're going to try to have a guest on. And again, I apologize for my imposter syndrome and our absence.
And everyone that reached out.
Now we're here to stay.
Everyone that reached out and said that they either missed the podcast or were like looking for it. We really appreciate it. And thank you.
Yeah. We're going to have some good episodes coming out this year. Some good guests lined up. But anything else?
Nope, that's good.
Thanks
guys. Bye.